Go ahead.
Hey everyone. So my name is Peggy Rivera, and I am a friend of Kristen's from a long time ago. So Kristen and I met in Hawaii, 10, almost 10 years ago. I guess we can go by our kids' ages because Charlotte was 6 weeks old when I met you. Um, so my husband's in the Army, and we were stationed in Hawaii the same time that Kristen and her husband were stationed in Hawaii, and they're Air Force and we're Army, but we met at church, and it was so fun because we didn't know anybody yet on the island, and we went to this brand new church, didn't know anybody there, and after church was over, we're walking out to our car, and here comes running after me Kristen, and she's pregnant, like 8 months pregnant or something like that, running after me. Wait. And she invited us to her small group at her house that night. Anyway, that's how I met Kristen, and so we've been friends ever since. So it's a lot of fun getting to travel around the world and, maintain the friendships that we've met over the years. And so I know several people on the line and on Kristen's team are military, which is a lot of fun. So anyway, welcome to the call. This is so much fun, and I love to get to see everybody's faces or name on the on the screen. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my health journey and kind of how we got to the place where we are today. So about 7.5 years ago now, my father-in-law suffered a major stroke, and he ended up passing away. Just all of a sudden he was gone. And that just really sent waves through our family because he was like the cornerstone of our family. Like, he was the one that held everything together, and he just was all of a sudden gone. And so when that happened, I remember my husband, Alex, looking at me and saying, we've got to do something about our health because that's my dad. Like, those are my genes. That's going to happen to me and the kids or whatever if we don't make some changes. And I thought, awesome. I have no idea what to do. Like, I had no clue where to even go for help or anything. I didn't know what nutrition meant. And I don't know if it was just the age I grew up in. I have no idea, but it wasn't talked about in school. We didn't talk about it at home. There were no documentaries about it like there are now. And so it wasn't as prevalent as it is now to talk about nutrition. And so we grew up in a house with, my mom cooked very Southern food. And so we had fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and macaroni and cheese. I mean, all the good things, but all the time. And so there were no green things on our plate. And I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what eating healthy looked like. And so that's where I was at this place, like, okay, we've got to make some changes, but I don't know what to do. So I went to the internet, of course, because you go there for all the answers, and it told me to juice. And so that's what I did, by golly. I went out and got a juicer and all these organic fruits and vegetables that we couldn't afford, but I got them anyway because that's what everybody said. You need to eat more fruits and vegetables. And the amount of fruits and vegetables that people are supposed to eat to prevent disease is like a crazy amount. And so I was like, I got to shove as many as I can into my family's bodies. And the only way I knew how to do that was to juice. And so I thought, okay, my whole family's going to jump on board. They're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. No, they hated it, did not want to do it. So my husband and I were doing it for a while. The kids would only do juices that had like all the sweet fruits in it. But I started, cleaning out the pantry little by little. And of course I did some more Google research and, decided what healthy was. And so we were living like that for a while. But after about 2 weeks, I got so tired of cleaning the juicer. I got so tired of spending money that we didn't have on organic fruits and vegetables just to juice them. And so you get all these fruits and vegetables and then you juice them and they're like this much in the cup. And so I felt like it was a waste. But anyway, so we were also dealing with some very real problems in our family. So my daughter was 4 years old at the time. She had severe constipation and digestion issues, to the point where we would have to stay home some days because she was in so much pain. We couldn't leave the house, but she couldn't go to the bathroom. And it was just a mess. She would be hunkered down on the couch for a while, just in a ball in pain. And we would have to give her suppositories and all kinds of weird things for her just to go to the bathroom. And it was very uncomfortable, and it started to cause some damage to her. And, the doctors would recommend things like some of the things I just mentioned, or Miralax or prune juice or whatever, which they would all work for maybe a couple of days, and then it would go back to normal. And normal for her was in pain and can't go to the bathroom. And so I knew that something needed to change. Also, I had heart palpitations, and my son and I both had eczema. And so I thought, okay, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to totally revamp our family's health. I need some help. And I was starting to feel like I was at the end of my rope a little bit. And so that's when I picked up the phone and called Bree. And I was just telling her all about our health problems. And she suggested Juice Plus. And at first I was a bit skeptical. But as soon as we got Charlotte started on the gummies, within a week, she was completely healed of her constipation and digestion issues. And that opened my eyes, because I thought, okay, if it's that simple, if all it took was just some extra concentrated fruits and vegetables into her body to start healing it, what can it do for the rest of us? And so we all jumped on board. I started just diving right in and sharing with all kinds of friends and family that kept telling me about their kids' constipation, or the adults that were dealing with constipation, or sick all the time, or eczema. Oh, which, by the way, my heart palpitations went away. My eczema went away. And for me, I was like, oh, okay, this is crazy, but it's not rocket science. It's just fruits and vegetables. And so I, over the years, have learned it's just because I healed my body from the inside out. And that's what my family did. And so when I realized I had so many friends and family that were also seeking, just like I was, and struggling, I could offer them something to help, because I now knew that there was something that could help them. And so I've just been sharing Juice Plus with them, because it was a solution for us that worked. And so why not share it with other people? And so that's what I've been doing over the years, and it's been awesome. And so people like Kristen that I have kept in touch with, jumped on board too. And I'm so glad that she did, because her family is super healthy, for those of you that know Kristen. And it's been amazing. And so I'm going to pass it over to Kristen and let her share her story. So Kristen, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Peg. I get so excited that Peggy shared this with me. I didn't know at the time when she introduced it to me that it was going to rock our world the way it's rocked our world in so many different ways. But it was about 7 years ago. And I was looking for something for my kids, because I have a background in health and PE, and I've always been an athlete. So I knew my kids needed something. They were getting sick all the time. They were 3 and 4 at the time, and they were, constantly on antibiotics. They had ear, nose, and throat infections. And so I knew something was lacking in our diet. I just didn't know what. So we were going to do the Flintstones, because that's what my mom had given us, and I didn't know any different then. And Peg had mentioned, well, why not try Juice Plus? And, I trusted Peggy, so I was like, well, why not try Juice Plus? And she explained what it was, and you guys, to be honest, it did not make sense to me at all. I'm like, fruits and veggies in a gummy or a capsule, like, how do you do that? That doesn't even make sense. But she said free. She goes, if the adults buy it, the kids can get it for free. And I was like, free? Okay. And so we signed up actually at the same time that we purchased, because I just wanted a little discount on my product. And we started to notice a change. It took a little. We weren't super unhealthy. We didn't have like a constipation story, or we didn't have like eczema, or my kids didn't have allergies. But over time, just flooding our bodies with that whole food nutrition, we hadn't made any other changes in our diet. Just over time, I noticed that we were getting sick a lot less, and it clued me into the connection and the correlation between food and health. And it just started my journey. It absolutely started my journey, my health journey. And so I, like Peggy, Googled as well. And I just started looking at, what is this stuff? What is Juice Plus? How can they get fruits and veggies in a capsule or a gummy? But it makes sense. Peggy said how she was juicing all the time, and you get this little bit. But what's great about Juice Plus is that they take it then just one extra step, and they dry it at a really low temp. They maintain that nutrition, and then you take it in capsule or gummy form. So you're getting all that nutrition, which is awesome. So it just was natural for me to start sharing with immediate family members and friends. And so I started to do that. And when I started to hear their stories and what was changing in their life, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I've always loved helping people. I have a passion for helping people. I love health and nutrition. And I'm like, all right, I think I could do this. Never intending to have a business or make a business out of it. Never intending that. I took a little break from the business because we had a baby. We had moved to Germany, but I watched Peggy hit national marketing director, which is the top level of the company. And I was like, wait a minute. If she can do it, and she's my friend, and I know Peggy in all her flaws and all her glory. No, I'm like, seriously, if Peggy can do it, why not me? You know, and she at the time had been taking it a little bit more seriously as a business. And so that's when I flipped the switch and I said, why not just try to share a little bit more and be more intentional about it? And I started to ask people if they wanted to join my team. And people were saying yes. And I was like, really? This is great. This is fun. And you find, and it just was so fun because I found all these people that were just like me, that love people, that are go-getters, that want to make a difference in people's lives. And so my business just kind of happened. It just kind of started. And now, you guys, I feel like an obligation to share the product, the business, because it is so simple. The product is so simple. Like Peggy said, it's just fruits and vegetables. And whole food nutrition makes a huge difference in people's lives. And the business is so much fun. And I get to meet and make amazing friends. And our community is fabulous. And we just really support each other. My life would be completely different if I didn't have this business. Our outlook on life is now so different. My husband retires from the military in 2 years. And we want to link arms and we want to do this business together so that he doesn't have to go back to a super stressful job. He's an air traffic controller in the Air Force. We're active duty. And he's great at his job, but it's super stressful. And so I want in 2 years for him to just be able to do whatever he wants, no pressure. And that's where this business is taking us. I didn't ever think that was going to be possible, that I'd be able to stay at home and work a business like this, have fun, pour into people, and use this platform to not just share health, but to share people or share with people about Christ. And I mean, just so many different things. It's been such a blessing to us. And just the fact that my family's so stinking healthy. Peggy said that. We're just so healthy because now I know how to cook for my kids. And, I double them up on their Juice Plus when they're around sick kids or they've been to a birthday party and they're eating the junk. So it really, truly has been such a blessing. And like I said, I've gotten to meet some amazing people. But I'm going to pass it over to Bree because she's going to share her story. And I'm so grateful for the two of you. So grateful for the two of you and your friendship and your leadership. It's been a fun journey.
Well, we love you, Kristen. This is so fun. Hi, you guys. So my name is Bree, and 11 and a half years ago, my husband and I heard about Juice Plus. And actually, it kind of began a little before that. We'd been hearing about it for a while, but kind of like Kristen and Peggy, we were kind of like, I don't really know what that is. And so I kind of didn't listen. So I didn't listen until 11 and a half years ago. Let's put it like that. We have 4 kids. And at the time that we finally were like coerced into going to this health talk, literally, you guys, I only went because they were going to give us a free dinner. If you want to know the story, I'll tell you later. But we went to this talk and we heard about kids' nutrition. And to give you a little bit of the story, before that, my husband had been a single dad for 4.5 years. And before I came along, he just kind of was in survival mode, which you guys could probably understand. And he took them to McDonald's literally like 5 or 6 nights a week. It was kind of like, it was cheaper to eat off the dollar menu and faster than, and he didn't realize that there was anything wrong with that. And they all looked healthy on the outside, but on the inside, they were really sick. And so when we got married, they were sick for almost 3 months straight because they had no nutrition. They didn't ever eat vegetables. And they were like basically kids that were built on like, hot dogs and McDonald's. And so they were really sick. And so when we heard about this whole idea of eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, but if you weren't going to actually eat them all, that Juice Plus was an easy answer to kind of bridge the gap. My husband looked at me, and I will never forget this moment. He looked at me, and he had tears in his eyes, like instantly, and he said, "Honey, I feel like I've been killing the kids, and I didn't even know." And he was really sad. And then the next thing out of his mouth was, "We can't afford not to be on Juice Plus."
But at the time, we were living on food stamps and Medicaid because my husband was in school, and he had quit his job to go to school, and we had just gotten married a few months before, and I had quit my job to be home with the kids because they had grown up in daycare, and I just didn't want that for them anymore. So we had no money. That's like totally like putting it like nicely. But I took a cleaning job, and I thought, you know what? I don't care what the cost of Juice Plus is. I'm going to find a way to make it work. And there's a lesson in that anyone will find a way to make something work if it's important to them. And so we started Juice Plus. I signed up to be a rep the same night just because I thought, like Kristen, if I can just get a little discount. And to me, it was like, if I could save $10 over the course of a year, we were so broke that felt like $1,000, you know? So I said yes, but I got real sassy with my friend, and I put one finger up and one hand on my hip, and I said, just so you know, I am never telling anybody about this stuff. And she just smiled at me, and she was gracious, and she probably thought, yeah, we'll see. But I really meant it. And the reason, you know, I look back on it now, and the reason I really meant it that night is because I was so afraid of what people were going to think about me. And I realize now how selfish that was of me to be. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about anyone. I wasn't thinking like, wow, I just heard all this amazing information that's going to totally change my family's health. Oh, let me share that with someone. I was like, oh, no, I'm going to keep that to myself because what if they might think something of me, you know? And I don't even know what that might think of me was, but I was just kind of fearful. And so I didn't want to do it as a business. That was not my plan. But I will tell you that 3 weeks into taking Juice Plus, our family of 6 had so many incredible changes that we were noticing in our health that my husband kind of came to me and was like, what the heck is going on with us? You know, my son's eczema also went away. My husband had really severe heartburn that he used to have to take prescription medication for. That was gone. I used to need a nap every afternoon because I was this new mom, remember, of these 4 kids. And I didn't need a nap anymore. I didn't want Diet Coke anymore. I started having energy. All of us started sleeping through the night. There just were all kinds of things that started changing. So right about the same time, my husband went and looked at the research, and he said, okay, I'm looking at the research. I know our story, you know, for all of us. And he said, honey, I know you don't want to do this as a business and you don't want to tell anyone, but he kind of said, I think we don't have a choice at this point, because you know how you just sometimes you know something and it's so important to you and you feel like you have a moral or ethical obligation to share. Well, that's what happened for us. And so we started sharing Juice Plus. And then when people, same as like what Kristen said, when people started coming to me and saying, thank you, oh my gosh, my kid is not sick anymore. Or I still remember when Peggy's son came in and was like, I'll actually eat green stuff now, you know, like he came to my house while I was making dinner. And, you know, those kinds of things, I was realizing this is a really big deal. And so fast forward a little bit, I love to tell people that every single dollar in our paycheck that we make is a direct correlation with a life that we're impacting. You know, it might be someone not getting a diagnosis of something that they could have gotten. And I don't know, but I know that flooding your body with 30 different fruits and veggies every day, and that's not even counting the shakes or the bars. If you're flooding your body with that every day, what that is doing inside your cells, inside your DNA is amazing. And we have research to back that all up. So it kind of became like, I don't know, I couldn't really shut up about it. I got really excited. And then all of a sudden we had money coming in, and pretty soon I was earning more with my Juice Plus business than we were even living on every month. And it was pretty crazy. And so things just kind of kept growing from there. And then Peggy, 4 years into my journey, decided to say yes to Juice Plus. And that's when it got really fun. So when you can do this with your best friend, I mean, it's like the best, because you already love being together, but then you get to share this together and get to impact people. And I'm just so glad that she said yes. I wish I would have asked her sooner, but at least she said yes when she did. And, you know, the crazy thing too is that when my husband was getting ready to get out of law school, so we're going to fast forward a little bit here, there were not really any jobs on the market. And I knew that I had my hands on something incredible. And I just hadn't really taken full advantage of it yet. And so I said, okay, I have my hands on this business, and so let's see what I can do with it. And so I got to work, and I started being a little more intentional and sharing with more people. And my business started to grow and just kept growing, and paycheck was like doubling and tripling. And now today I make a lot more money than my lawyer husband. Yes, you heard that right. And he has his own law firm. So it's not like he's just a lawyer in a, you know, in some firm. He has his own law firm, and actually it's going so well with Juice Plus that he put in his notice at the building that he works at so that he's going to come home and start transitioning out of a lot of that, because he loves what we're doing with Juice Plus more, because we get to help people. We're not just trading hours for dollars like he is with his law practice. At the end of the day, people will thank him for the things that he does. And, it's not like that's why he does it, but it's not fulfilling and rewarding like it is with Juice Plus. When you're helping people and you're changing their marriages because they're in this community of people, and I can't tell you how many people have said that, but a lot have said this business and this community, not even talking about the finances, but that they've said this has saved our marriage, or this has gotten us out of debt, or now we've gotten to build our dream home. And it's not just me and Peggy that have these stories. It's a lot of people on our team. And, for a lot of people, $500 to $1,000 a month, really even $200 to $500 a month can make a huge difference, like a really huge difference, from someone having to file bankruptcy or, struggling in their marriage because finances are such a problem. And so I love that Juice Plus can be an answer to so many things. And so, I'm not sure where all of you are at. I know some of you are probably just checking things out, and some of you have kind of just joined us, and some of you are newer on the team. But I will tell you that, me and Peggy and Kristen, none of us really wanted a business at all. None of us. Peggy actually said no to me on the phone when I asked her, and then 2 days later she came back around. But she was thinking like, heck no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be one of those moms that stays home and sells things. That's what she thought. She thought there was like this whole different side of things, but I know that she's so glad that she said yes. And for me, it's one of the very best decisions I've ever made. And I wouldn't even know Kristen if it weren't for this business. Like, there's so many friendships that we all have because we decided to say yes, and we get to impact people every day. So I love that we're on this mission that is bigger than every single one of us. And, I don't know if it would be for you or not, but I would really encourage you to talk with Kristen. And I also want to invite you, this is so fun, and this is part of why we're on this call tonight. She is really getting ready to finish up everything that she needs for National Marketing Director, which is the top level of our company. Peggy and I are both National Marketing Directors, and Kristen's going to be one of our very next ones, and we want to invite you to be part of it. She's going to do it one way or the other, like whether you say yes or whether you don't. So I don't want you to feel like we're saying we need you to do this, but we want to invite you to, because there's nothing more fun. And maybe Kristen can share a little bit about this. When Peggy was going for it, that's when Kristen decided to jump back into the business. And just for what that was like for her to watch Peggy do it, I think I'd love to end on that. But I just want to invite you guys to just take a peek, because it might be the very best thing that you ever say yes to.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys getting on here and chatting. And for everybody that's on, I'd like to open it up now for like just some question and answer time. We have about 10 more minutes before this kicks off. But if you have to go ahead and you can hop off. But if you want to stay on and ask some questions a little bit more about either the product or the business, we would love to entertain those questions. Or if anybody on right now wants to just share a little bit about their experience, they can do that as well.
Kristen, could you share your story about being on the product, pregnant and nursing and everything?
Yes, absolutely. So my first two kiddos, I told you we started Juice Plus when they were 3 and 4. And so when I got pregnant with my third child, I was already taking Juice Plus, and by far the best pregnancy. He was my biggest baby, weighing in at, oh my gosh, how much did he weigh? 8'12". My others were 8'2" and 8'9", but he was 8'12", and I actually like lost weight with him. It was weird. I weighed less after I gave birth with him. The doctors were like, I don't know, I think your baby's going to be really small, because I was measuring so small, and he comes out at 8'12", and they're like, how on earth is that even possible? And I'm like, Juice Plus, baby. That baby was getting all that good nutrition, and he was all up in there, and I was eating so healthy that my body was just so healthy. But he's now 5 years old, you guys, and he's had Tylenol once in his life. Once. I mean, no antibiotics. I never have to take him to the doctor except for his well checkups. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a world of difference between him and my other two when they were that age. I mean, a world of difference. And I have no doubt it's from just all that good nutrition, flooding his body. So thanks for asking that, Steph. I'm so happy that, I wish I had Juice Plus a long time ago with my other two. And I know there's a lot of people on here that say the same thing, but I'm super glad and thankful that I had it with my with that one, with Jack. I keep going like this because he's sitting in there watching TV right now. He's as if he's listening. Any other questions? We didn't mention how much it costs for a Juice Plus franchise, and that's absolutely one of my favorite things, you guys. It's only $50 for the year. You practically earn that back on your own product, especially if you do the Shred 10, which is the shakes and the capsules. And you practically, well, you do earn that back. You earn that money back on your own product. It's only $50. It's the best $50 I've ever spent in my entire life. And speaking of the Shred 10, we're actually going to be going live tomorrow night at 8. Same thing on this Zoom. And we're going to be sharing stories and talking all about the Shred. So if you have anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about the Shred, you guys are more than welcome to invite and join us for that tomorrow night. Yes, the benefits of Q in the National Marketing Director levels. It's really awesome. Peggy and Bree can attest to this, but you get corporate benefits. It's a corporate benefits package when you hit Qualifying National Marketing Director, which is the level I'm at right now, and National Marketing Director. So this was the first year I was eligible for benefits. I didn't take them because we have my husband's in the military, but I know there's a lot of people that could benefit from corporate benefits package, especially this day and age. My sister tells me how much she pays for her medical, and I'm just like pick my jaw up off the floor. Crazy expensive. So thanks for bringing that up, Faye. Any other questions, you guys? How come I still see Stephanie on my big screen? You're staring at me, Steph. I love it. All right, anybody else? All right. Speak up now or forever hold your peace. All right, well, we'll go ahead and sign off. I'll end the meeting. If you want the recording, just give me a holler. I'll have it on my computer here in a little bit. But I want to thank Breggy. I see that you named yourself Breggy. Bree and Peggy for hopping on, taking the time. They're in Colorado right now, so I know there's a little bit of a time difference. But for hopping on and just sharing with us, we are truly grateful and blessed to have you guys in our lives. So thank you for that.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Good to see you guys. Bye.
Bye. And thanks everybody else for hopping on. You guys have a great night.
You too.